Hey Sleepyhead, this is a 10-minute sleep yoga hip release for before bed. We're going to go through some basic yoga stretches, no flexibility required, made specifically with men in mind. Follow along. By the end of this, your hips are going to be feeling better and you'll be ready for a great night of sleep. We're going to start this off with a pyramid stretch. So grab blocks. If you don't have blocks, use a stack of books, use a couple of foam rollers. You're going to bring your right leg forward between the blocks. Big step back with your left foot, pointed out 45 degrees. Start with your knee over the ankle in the front foot. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, straighten through your right leg until you feel a stretch in the back of your right thigh. If you want, you can stack your blocks to make this a bit easier. The focus here should be on the hamstrings, the under part of your thigh, not on the lower back as much. So make sure you're feeling the stretching there and using the blocks or using props accordingly here. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, relax your chest just a little bit. Make sure that you're still feeling this through the hamstrings, not feeling some sort of uncomfortable pulling sensation in the lower back. And we're just going to hang out here for a few breaths. Practicing letting tension go, practicing slow, controlled breathing. And these are all the things that are going to help you get better sleep. Just 10 minutes, but definitely a wise investment of your time. Take one more breath here. And then from here, we're going to transition to a low lunge. So blocks go back on either side of the front foot. Turn your back foot to face forward, and then release your back knee to the ground. So coming into an easy hip stretch here. If you want, you can move your blocks forward a little bit. Allow your hips to come forward. Even allow your chest to relax here. This is different from some of our other more intense workouts where we're really focusing on upright posture and core engagement. The goal here is tension release. The goal here is stretching, body awareness, slow, controlled breathing. So it's going to feel different from some of our other workouts. You don't need to do intense workouts all the time, and you also shouldn't be doing super low intense workouts all the time. You want to have a nice blend of all of them, especially as you're getting older. That recovery portion gets more and more important. So make time for stretches like this, and your body will thank you. Take one more breath here, just allowing the hips to go forward, feeling that stretch through the left hip flexor, the inner right thigh, maybe some release through the lower back. And then go ahead and stand back up, starting where we started with the left foot. So now left leg is forward, centered between the blocks. Big step back with the right foot, pointing that out at 45 degrees. I like starting in kind of this warrior one lunge position, so hands on the blocks, knee over the ankle and the front foot. Take a breath and pull your chest forward and up. And then as you exhale, straighten through that left leg just until you feel a stretch the back of the left thigh. Keep in mind, my flexibility might be different than yours, so lots of ways to modify this. You can stack blocks and come up really high like this to make it easier if you have tighter hamstrings. If you're more flexible, you can take the blocks down so that just one block, maybe a lower setting on the block. Point here, it's not meant to be a flexibility contest. Our goal here is releasing tension. So select a depth that's really manageable. Focus on slow, controlled breathing while you're there. And every breath, you're just relaxing a little bit more into the pose. Inhale to kind of lengthen yourself forward. Exhale, fold a little bit deeper. Shouldn't feel like there's any sort of tugging or pulling on your lower back. Really focus the stretch on the hamstrings. If you can stretch your hips, the lower back will follow. So it's kind of this situation where in order to release tension in the lower back, we're actually targeting things that attach to the lower back rather than the lower back itself. Take one more breath here. And then from here, taking it down to a low lunge. So right foot turns to face forward. Release the right knee to the ground. Keep your hands on the blocks. Just make it easy on yourself. I like using the blocks because that way we don't have to put all of the weight in the lower body. Remember, focus here is on tension, release, not on building strength or hitting new flexibility records. And then we're just allowing the hips to come as far forward as gravity allows. Not forcing yourself deeper into this, but just easing into the stretch. And then once we're there, slow controlled breathing in and out of the nose. And if you can get to that point where you really ease into the breathing, you really make that breathing slow and mindful, and you're remembering to breathe consistently, that's when you notice your body start to go deeper into the poses. That's when you notice, oh, okay, I'm really relaxing. And you start to turn off autopilot and you focus on being more mindful by paying attention to your body, paying attention to your breathing. That's preparing you not only physically, but also mentally for going to sleep. Most of us are on autopilot all the time. We don't take the time to be mindful, to be more conscious about steering our thoughts. And when you practice movement like this, when you do these stretches, this breathing, that gives you the opportunity to be more aware of your thoughts in the process. So I encourage you to use this as an opportunity to be aware of what's going on in your thoughts. You don't have to change them, but just be aware of them. Notice what you're thinking about. All right. Go ahead and release. All right, guys. I hope you're enjoying this routine. If you're not too tired, or if you can remember to do this, I want to invite you to do a 30-day Manful Yoga challenge with me right here on the Manful Yoga YouTube channel. The link for that is in the description below. Check that out when you're finished. From there, we're going to take it over onto our back. We're going to be doing a reclined figure 4 stretch. I love this stretch as a beginner stretch for hips. Doesn't require much flexibility. It's also a really relaxed variation. So you're going to cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Grab the back of the left thigh. Flex your right toes toward your body. Turn your right knee to face to the outside. Depending on external rotation ability of the hip here, you're trying to get that knee to face to the outside, but don't do it in a way that aggravates the knee. So just be mindful of your knee there. And then try to keep your lower back flat on the ground. If you notice that your head's coming up or that's kind of uncomfortable, you can put a pillow or a block under your head. And then once again, just slowing down your breathing here. Focusing on that stretch to the outer hip. If you want to make this more intense, if you're a little bit more flexible, you can grab the front of the shin instead of the back of the thigh. You can also, if it helps, I find that kind of cradling the right leg here releases some of the pressure on the knee. So you can do that as well. Slow, controlled breaths here. You can play around with some movement here if you want. Try and get that right glute, that outer right hip to stretch. That's the goal here. And even if it feels a bit uncomfortable to be in this stretch, that's where the practice is an opportunity for breathing. Right? So checking in on that breathing, using your breath to stay calm, to stay relaxed. Last breath here. And then switching sides. So now we're going to cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Grab the back of your right thigh. Once again, if you want to make this a little bit more intense, if you have more flexibility, you can grab the front of the shin. I recommend using a block or a pillow if you notice your head coming off the ground. So yeah, so even for me, right, and I would consider myself pretty flexible. It's hard for me to hold my leg and relax my head. So using the pillow, using the block here, just helps you make this into a more relaxed stretch. And really with these sleep focus stretches, with these tension release focused routines, you do want to use things like props just to make sure that your body is as relaxed as possible. And in general, I recommend using lots of tools just because you want to do the pose in a way that works for your body. You're not trying to force your body into a depth that it's not ready for. And the blocks, right, using walls, using tools, that allows you to get the stretch that you're supposed to get without requiring you to be super flexible. So use these modifications, they're helpful. Last exhale here. And then go ahead and release. Plant your feet on the ground. Move the block aside and relax onto your back. And from here, moving into our final stretch, I want you to bring the soles of your feet together. Butterfly on your back. And allow your knees to kind of relax out to the sides. If you're having difficulty with that, then you could use blocks here. So you can bring your blocks kind of to the outsides of your thighs so that they have something to relax on, like so, if that feels better for you. And you can let them come out as far as you'd like. Basically here, just allowing your hips to open up, giving your chest a chance to open up. If you really want to be efficient with this, or you want to get some shoulder opening, you can bring your arms to goalpost arms. And this will get some stretching through the upper body. And using gravity to allow your shoulders to open up here. Slow down your breathing. And think about breathing into your chest here for just a few breaths. And this is a really good stretch to do before bed just because we're practicing breathing. We're stretching those muscles that are involved in breathing, kind of stretching the rib cage area. So this is a nice way to improve your breathing before bed while also releasing tension in the rest of your body, right? The hip opening, the shoulder opening. Make sure your head's relaxed. Make sure your neck is relaxed. I'm going to do 3 more breaths here. One more breath. Hopefully finishing this feeling a lot different than when you started. All right, and then when you're ready, slowly sitting up and giving yourself a pat on the back for doing something good for yourself. All right, guys, I hope you're feeling a lot better now compared to when you started. If you're not too tired yet, click subscribe. Don't miss out on future videos. Like this video if you found it helpful. And if you want to check out a 30-day challenge that we've got here for you on YouTube, click the link in the description below. Sign up for that and see what you can do with 30 days of Man Flow Yoga. All right, guys, thanks for being here. I'll see you on the next video.